Hi, I'm Katie Nemeth with AliYah Academy, and today we are at the Claiborne Library. They have a homeschool day that meets here, what do they say, second Tuesday?
Second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday of the month at 10 o'clock. Please feel free to check it out if you're in this area. They also have a Lego club twice a month, so that's interesting. I'm here today with Leisa Rogers. She is our special needs advisor for the school. She is available to you if you're a member of AliYah Academy for any advice on special needs. So Leisa has been homeschooling. Her oldest is 28, right?
He'll be 28 in February.
Yeah, and she's been homeschooling the whole time. She also has her degree in special education. She's worked in the school system, and also obviously she's homeschooled. She has a lot of experience, and that is available to you. Today we're going to get to ask her some questions about IEPs and what are they, so maybe we can understand if you're coming out of school with a special needs child, or if you're wondering if you need an IEP homeschooling. We're going to ask her some of those questions today because she's our expert. So Leisa, what exactly is an IEP? When you hear that, I know when I've always homeschooled, so when I heard that first, I didn't know what an IEP even was. So can you explain to us what that is and what they use that for?
An IEP is an individual educational plan, hence your IEP, and it's done by the school systems primarily. It would be to assist your child, know where you're headed, what kind of goals they would have for the year. Would probably include some resources they might receive, like physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, maybe even behavior therapy, just anything that the school system would be providing for them, and the amount of time that they would provide those services to the child.
Okay. So it's kind of a plan they put together for the child that has special needs, so that everyone in the school knows what that child needs, right, and what their plan is.
Everyone who works with the child would know what they were doing and the goals that they were aiming for with that child.
Do we need IEPs as a homeschooler? Especially if you've been in school and you come out and you might think, well, I have an IEP. What does that mean if you're homeschooling? Do you need that?
I think as a homeschooler, if they have an IEP, you're already aware of the disabilities and the areas that they've been diagnosed in, whether it be reading difficulties, maybe you have a Down syndrome child that's receiving a lot of services. You're already aware of that. It's okay if you want to develop a plan for your child of how you're going to accomplish those things, but really, as the parent, you want to look at where you want to go with it, with your homeschooling. You know, what your goals are for that child. Is it to learn to write their name, or maybe if it's an older child, you might even be looking at more of the skills that are going to prepare them for life, doing laundry, preparing a meal, sweeping the floor. Even job skills might be part of that. So you could have an IEP if you chose to. As far as, I wouldn't call it an IEP. You could have a plan for your child.
You feel like that's pretty much what we do with all of our children, whether they're special
right,
needs or not? You're just looking at what that child needs, and so you just keep moving forward like you would with any
right.
child. Is that pretty much?
I feel like that is the case. A lot of homeschool parents, I think, especially when they pull them out of school, your regular kids, they tend to say, oh, we're in fourth grade, we got to do fourth grade.
Yeah.
But if your child's pulled out of school because they're having problems, you might not want to start in fourth grade. You might want to start back in phonics if they're not reading, or basic math skills, and then build up to where they are. Because that's usually the reason we're pulling them out. They're either not doing well, or there's been some problems.
Right. As a homeschooler with a special needs child, or if you're concerned if your child has special needs, do you feel like you need to get diagnosed? I hear a lot of people wanting to get their children diagnosed for anything, dyslexia or different ADHD or any of these things. Do you feel there's a need as a homeschooler to be diagnosed for any of these things, or what would be the purpose if you did, I guess?
Personally, I would say you probably do not need a diagnosis. There probably are a lot of people who would have a different school of thought with that. If you're realizing your child's having learning difficulties and you're a homeschool parent, there's so many things online that are available to look at, to say, oh, well, they're having trouble with reading. Let's try some of these things and see if they work. Because you as the parent, you want your child to learn to read, or you want your child to learn to to write or do numbers. And there's so many things there that are resources. But there are times that you might want to reach out and get a diagnosis. If you just feel like you are just at the end and you don't know what else to do, there are experts. There are people who can do a lot of testing and can come back and give you ideas on what to do.
And I know in schools we had talked earlier about schools offering resources, or as a homeschooler, where would you find, would you go to the school system to find resources? Or you had talked a little bit about that. What do you recommend for a homeschooler if they were looking for outside resources to help their child that maybe they felt they couldn't do?
Well, as a homeschool parent, we do have rights to utilize the special needs and special ed services that are available in the county that you live in. The counties that we are in generally are very full with what they have, and they don't have a choice but to make room and to give your child services. But even with the students that are in their system, the services they receive are very much minimal. You might get, let's just say, speech twice a week or once a week for 30 minutes, and it might be a group session. Because these speech therapists are just bombarded with kids, and that's really all they can provide. You would probably do better to reach into an outside service that is in your area, and your child would receive the same services that a lot of times your insurance will pay for, and your doctor can do referrals for evaluations and that type thing, and they can help you with your insurance stuff as well. Okay.
So when you find someone, they can help you get the insurance to
Usually
cover.
They will. They might ask you what insurance you have, just like any doctor.
Okay.
And there may even be some that are, no, we don't take that insurance, but you can usually search around and find another one that.
Okay, so the school system does have services available, but you would say recommending to look outside for a private service if you.
I would seek outside services first.
Okay. And see what's available. So I guess as a homeschool parent, if you felt like your child might have some special needs, what would you suggest overall, from beginning to end, what a parent should maybe follow as far as protocol for how to handle that with their child?
If your child has some obvious disabilities, autism, one you're going to know right off. Autism is usually picked up pretty early. The reaching out to others might be really important for you, even if it's in the form of a support group where you have other parents that have children that are like that can give you ideas. But a lot of times I think we tend to push our children, especially in the school system now, to start so soon with things that our children's brains just aren't mature enough, particularly in some of the areas reading. I know a lot of families that have had children that didn't read till 3rd or 4th grade, and maybe not read well until they were older. I personally have one that just picked up his first book on his own, and he's 16. And he picked up a book and he read it and he loved it, and now he's picking up books and reading them. He was a late reader. So a lot of times we're pushing them into a mold that they're not ready for. So give them time, play games, let them learn at their own pace. That doesn't mean you're letting them be lazy because they're not doing the same thing that their younger siblings doing, and their younger siblings reading better than them.
Yeah.
And that happens quite frequently too. Yes. But let them learn at their own pace. And when they get a little bit older, if you do see that they're still having problems, there's so many things and so many resources. Katie and I were talking about earlier, Dollar Tree and all the things that they have available. Yeah. Colored strips to put on there so they can read in a different color. Little things that you can do that will help them out and help them develop the skills that they need.
Thank you so much, Leisa. I think we got a lot of information from you today. I really appreciate your time. And I did want to reiterate that Leisa is available if you're a member of AliYah Academy. So let us know in the comments what your questions are. We're going to be doing some more interviews with Leisa in the future, and what do you want to know about special needs that we can share with you? I want to thank Leisa Rogers for being with us today and answering our questions. And I hope you all have a great week and happy homeschooling.